guys, I thought I would do one more of these problems for you as you're working through these over the weekend and through Monday. I thought this might be helpful for you to find, given a radius, we need to find the area. Okay, we have a lot to find in this problem, so I'm just going to do the one problem here for you for this video. We have a lot that we have to find in order to find our area. Our end goal is to find the area of this decagon. Okay, so the things that we know the radius length. We know that we can draw the apothem right here. Okay, and we can find out how long the apothem is. Okay, we also know that within this right triangle, we can find the length of this right here. Okay, so when we find these two lengths, that's going to give us enough information to solve the problem. The area of a polygon is the 1/2 times the apothem times the perimeter. And so we're going to use our trig to find out how long this apothem is, and we're going to use our trig to find out how long this half side is, which will give us then the full side, which will give us the full perimeter. And when we have all that information, we can plug it into our area formula and find our area. So we're going to start by figuring out the measure of this angle. Okay, so a decagon has 10 sides, right? Which means if we divided our decagon into triangles, all of them would have a 4 centimeter radius, right? But there would be 10 of these, right? And our central angle is going to be one of these. And we know that this is 360 degrees. So we know that just one of these is going to be 1/10 of that, because there are 10. So we've got a whole circle, 360 degrees, and we're trying to find 1/10 of that. So of course that's 360 divided by 10, which is 36. And then we want just half of that, because we divided that triangle. We divided that original triangle then in half with our apothem. So we actually want half of 36. So we know that this half angle right here is 36 divided by 2, which is 18 degrees. Okay? So we know that that's 18 degrees there, which means we're going to do some trig, and we're going to use the 18-degree angle in both cases. Okay. To find the apothem, we're going to find the apothem, so we don't know what it is yet. And the other side length that we know is here, which is the hypotenuse, right? So this becomes the angle adjacent. This is the angle adjacent. The side adjacent to this angle. And this is the hypotenuse. So adjacent, what do we know adjacent over hypotenuse is? Okay, well remember, so ka toa, right? This says sine is opposite of our hypotenuse. That's not what we want. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and that is what we're looking for right here. So we're looking for the cosine. The cosine of 18 equals the apothem divided by 4. Okay, so what we're going to do is go to our calculator, make sure it's set for degrees, and find the cosine of 18. Multiply that times 4, and that should give us our apothem. This says round to the nearest tenth, so I got, when I went to my calculator, I got 3.8. Okay, Now, we have to do the same thing to find x. And x is the opposite. X is opposite that 18-degree angle. So, we're still using our hypotenuse. This becomes opposite over hypotenuse. Here's our opposite over hypotenuse. It's sine. So we know we're finding sine, which is equal to x over 4, opposite over hypotenuse. So, I'm going to my calculator, sine of 18 times 4, and that'll give me x. And that gives me 1.2. 1.2. Okay. So now we have mostly what we need. We know that x is our half side, right? And we know that a is our apothem. So let's take our half side and find out the perimeter of this whole decagon. So if a half side is 1.2, then a whole side is going to be double that, right? 2.4. Which means we have just figured out that one side of this decagon is 2.4 centimeters. One side is 2.4. So it's a decagon, so it has 10 sides. So if one side is 2.4, 10 sides be 10 times 2.4, or 24. Okay, hopefully that makes sense to you. We started with the half side, then we found the whole side, and then we found 10 of those all together. 10 times 2.4 is 24. Okay, the last thing, now that we know our perimeter, that's the perimeter of our decagon. Okay, the last thing we need to do is just go ahead and solve it. So what do we know? Here, I'm just going to get a clear piece of paper here. So, new, okay, blank paper, create. Okay, so what do we know? We know that our apothem is, what do we say it was? 3.8. And we know our perimeter is 24. And we know that to find the area of a polygon, we have to take 1/2 times the apothem times the perimeter. So that means 1/2 times 3.8 times 24. Okay, and again, we're just going to put that in our calculator. 1/2 times 3.8 times 24 gives me an area of 45.6, and it was centimeters squared. This was centimeters. This was centimeters. Centimeters squared, and there is our final answer. We found the area. The area of the decagon is 45.6 centimeters squared, square centimeters. Hopefully that helped you. That you will not need all of those steps for all of these problems, but sometimes you will need all the steps. Sometimes you will just need some of them. Sometimes they're going to give you the perimeter, or they're going to give you a side length, or they're going to give you the apothem length. Okay, so sometimes they're going to give you some of these lengths, and you won't have to go and find them like we did in this video. Sometimes they won't, and you'll have to find it all. Hopefully that helps. Pause the video, rewind it, watch what you need to watch, reach out with any questions or anything that was unclear, and I'll talk to you soon. Stay safe.